Hello wonderful world and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a motorcycle review. The motorcycle in question, a Honda, a CB. It's known as a Hornet and it's a 160cc. However, 160, 150 CBs are very much similar. There is a slight change in power, but it's so slight. So this review is actually for anything that's CB150, CB160. Well, that's the only two that are on offer. So let's begin. I've given this bike a thorough run, but let's head in the direction of the bike and let me just give you some initial thoughts. When you look at the bike, it doesn't look very small. I'm doing this little walk not to show how I walk like a duck, but rather just to see how I sit on this bike, how I straddle this bike at a 6-foot height and 100 kilograms. I don't actually look that big on this bike. The bike does look hefty for a small engine, but I push this bike, I push this a lot. Let's just look at how this looks from a stationary position. The engine looks substantial, like I said, even though it's 150/160, and it looks quite neat, sharp looking. This has combined braking, which I think maybe the CB150 doesn't have, although I think the brakes on these CBs are pretty okay, regardless of whether they're combined or not. The cluster meter, the clock, it shows plenty. Lots of information, rev meter, time, speed, fuel gauge. It shows enough. I mean, one has to bear in mind that this is a basic bike from Honda, but for a basic bike, it does offer a great deal. And that's why I really do think the CB150, which is the one that's really in production. I think the 160R is no longer in production, so the 150 is mainly what I'm talking about, is a great bike. It's a low end cheap bike. And I mean, one thing I did note is the fuel efficiency is phenomenal. It's anything between 45 to 50 kilometers per liter. Now that's pretty good going. Air cooled, so its simplicity means that you don't have to worry about much. And again, look at the bike. It just looks really cool. And it looks a lot bigger than the engine that's been offered, or the engine size rather. As a commuter bike, I wanted to test this on all types of terrain. It's not designed for off-road, and this isn't really heavy-duty off-road, but it's sandy and traction is not so easy to sustain, but it did well, it handled well, it feels comfortable in almost all terrain. Later, I'll be pushing this bike on some of the most toughest terrains I've encountered in Sri Lanka, in a place called Devil's Staircase, and the name is suggestive because it really is a place where you think the devil is out to get you. It's tough terrain, but this bike did exceptionally well there also. I like to test bikes that have been ridden hard, because if they still show a high quality, a great comfort, and when you ride them you feel that the engine is pucker, really good, then it just proves that it's a good bike. And this bike has done 58,000 kilometers. And I think that just shows, or is testament, that how well Honda make their bikes, especially the CB 150, 160. They can go on for literally a long time. And this bike has proven that. The engine purrs like a cat. I don't feel that the engine is rough or it's been abused. And remember, this is a rental bike. So the likelihood is that people who have been using this have not been using this so gently as you would if it was your own bike, owned. But again, that just proves the CB150 is a commendable, excellent bike. I'm clocking up around 200 to 250 kilometers a day because I'm visiting different sites all around Sri Lanka. But that really, again, is another testament to a bike that is 150 to 160cc. That's a lot of miles per day.
Something special about being stranded on a dirt track, married next to a lake with the sun setting, and of course this wonderful steed. Total isolation. It's fun. Just look at that view. Well, folks, they say some views speak more than 1,000 words. I think this is way in excess of 10,000. It's beautiful. But it could be that I'm just tired of the bumpy road, and now I get this view, and it means I get an opportunity to stop, rest my buttocks, because they're bloody in serious pain. Yeah, lots of reasons. Oh, those dogs are lying in the shade, and I wonder whether they've got room for me to sit down with them. Folks, can I join you? Can I? Can I? I think it's a no, but I get back on the road.
I really need to pay tribute to this steed because it's such a wonderful steed. I am munching up the miles on this bike, and other than a sore bottom, which when you do 200, 250 kilometers, you're going to get that anyway, regardless of the bike. It's munching them up, and I'm enjoying the ride. Great views to be seen. You can see the mountain in the forefront. I'm heading in that direction. Basically, quiet roads, lovely bends, smooth, sharp bends also, but just absolutely wonderful roads to ride on. And the fact that I'm in a isolated, secluded position means I get to really enjoy this bike fully. Okay, it's a bit of a lie. I do look big on this bike, but not so big that it's like an elephant riding a little scooty. I just wanted to show you the surroundings and also show you a side view so that you can understand that as a 6-footer on a 150, 160cc bike, I don't really look out of position. Or do I? You tell me. Anyway, folks, it's now time for some rougher terrain, so we can check this bike out on all types of terrain. This is rough, it's stones, it's gravel, and to be honest, I found it a little more taxing than I thought I would, but having said that, it was still manageable. But let's move on to something a little more difficult, shall we? I think we shall. Ha ha, gotcha. No, this definitely wasn't more taxing, this part of my ride. It was just very picturesque. You had just greenery on both sides. Though the road is narrow, it's still sufficient to get a bike through and obviously allow people to pass by, as demonstrated by yours truly. But let's really get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's get on to some genuinely tough terrain. I promise. I'm not kidding this time. Or am I? I promise you, even though this terrain looks subtle and soft, it isn't. There's a decline descent here that maybe the video isn't capturing, but this is one of the most beautiful places I rode. But when somebody told me it was called Devil's Staircase, I thought Devil's Staircase in Wales. This was nothing like that. This is so much tougher, so much harder, so much more painful. But the bike proved itself, and that's what I wanted to do. Check the bike out in a terrain that's going to be tough, not its normal terrain. And that's how we know bikes are durable and they're worth purchasing. I would definitely add this bike to my stables, but it would have to be in a country where 150, 160cc is advisable. The UK, where you have to travel on motorways, such a small engine just wouldn't be practical. It just wouldn't cut it. But this is definitely worth considering if you want a little run around town, basically anywhere. I mean, if it can do this kind of track, I mean, the ruts and ravines here are so deep, it's unbelievable. The boulders are the size of beach balls, and the smaller ones are the size of basketballs. So it was very difficult to ride this terrain, but it did it well. It shone.
Another attempt. Got the GoPro, the Insta360 positioned in a different way. Oh, wow. It's gonna be a slow journey down, folks. I'm afraid I can't gain momentum because it's just really difficult. When I get a straight, I'll try to get some speed going, but it's just a nightmare to do. I haven't got an off-road bike, so wow, look at the boulders here. It's just a mission and a half, and I'm sure very soon the sense of regret will overcome me. Sorry about the camera. Thought I'd stop again, just show you the path, and now you can see where it goes over there. Can you see? So it's a long path. I will probably concentrate on riding now rather than taking videos, because it looks as though it might rain and I need to get down to the bottom as quick as possible. See you guys later.
Right, folks, that's me saying it's all over. I rode it in the toughest of terrain and coming at you right now to say goodbye and ride off into the sunset. But thank you for watching. Those on two wheels, please ride carefully. And for everyone, God bless you all. Stay happy, stay peaceful. See you on the road.